Welcome to the 60 Plus podcast.
I'm Janet.
And I'm Joe with a cold.
Yeah, you're all stuffed up, aren't you?
yeah,
I was going to say, how are you feeling,
well, I
Joe?
just wanted to get it out there that my voice sounds weird and I'll probably be
Yeah.
hacking and coughing.
Yeah, nice. Right.
I
I
don't know
hope
if
you're
it's
not contagious. That's all I can say.
it's been dragging, which makes me think it's allergies.
Let's hope.
I was up in the mountains over the
Let's
weekend.
hope you're suffering from allergies.
Thank you. Thank.
As many of us are.
That's very thoughtful of you.
Although this podcast isn't about the growth and allergies, but we could do one.
We should do that.
Yeah, and I think because I get worse with age too. Well, I know from my personal standpoint.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God.
How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Okay. It didn't sound very sincere.
Well,
Okay.
sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. You do.
My Mae West just came out there a little bit. Did you hear that? You know what I'm saying? Bug ball.
See, you can make a Mae West reference on a 60 Plus podcast. If it was like a millennial podcast.
Come up on sometime.
Well, that's pretty good actually.
Thank you.
It's one of your better ones.
Thanks.
You
haven't seen all of mine actually, so you can't really say that.
Well, of the ones I know.
Yeah, my Shirley Temple's pretty good.
When you do a tap dance up and down the stairs.
No, I don't think I'll be doing that anytime soon.
All right.
It's more like slowly walk down the steps in
One
a
step at a
measured pace.
All right. What are we talking about today, Janet?
Pickleball.
Say that again.
Pickleball.
No, don't say it like that. Say it so people can understand it.
We're going to be talking about pickleball.
It's a great idea because that's how we met.
I know, thank you.
And it was Janet's idea. I don't want to be...
All of the podcasts are my idea, aren't they? Mostly.
They mostly are.
6.2%.
I'd like to see those statistics.
Yeah. What's the source on that?
Yeah. What about pickleball? What is pickleball?
What do you mean, what is pickleball?
What is... Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, it's the fastest growing sport in the United States. And it is incredible. The last 3 years, 223.5% growth. But here's something I didn't know, right? I didn't know that before either, but
You've always known that.
so it was actually invented by 3 vacationers on Bainbridge Island near Seattle in 1965.
Yeah, I actually did know this. And it's kind of... Do you know why it's called pickleball?
You're going to tell me.
The dog's name was Pickle.
Oh,
So they named it...
Pickle.
They invented this sport. There was, as I remember, there was like an abandoned tennis court.
Oh.
And these families were on this island, and
Bainbridge Island.
they invented the sport for something for their kids to do,
That's really cool.
and they named it after their dog.
That's cool too. But it's been around since 1965, but it's only like in the last couple of years it's really, really taken off.
It
right?
really has, yeah.
Yeah, I mean there is like over like almost nearly 50 million players. Over 50 million actually. Those stats are from last year, so that's 22 over 23. So it's growing exponentially.
No, it is kind of crazy how
Right.
quickly it's growing.
Yeah. Do you know the most popular, I guess, the biggest age group in terms today?
Now, if you ask some of my friends, they would
Mhm.
say, "Oh, well, it's probably like people in their 70s."
Yeah, no, everybody sort of perceives it to be this sport played only by people in our age group. Now, that may have been the case, but actually 18 to 34 is the largest group age demographically. 28.8% of the total.
Okay, hear that, Mark? It's
You hear that? All those people are like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you play pickleball. You must be
You must be
old." Well,
Although-
it's just not true.
the group that we've played with, not recently
Yeah.
because we're both on the sidelines lately.
Yeah, we've been on the sidelines for one reason or another. Yeah.
It's an older group.
It is an older group. We met actually at a beginner's play.
At a clinic, yeah.
Yeah, at a clinic. Yeah.
It's
Which
at the
was a
senior
great-
center.
At the senior center, which is a great way to get started.
Absolutely.
You know, and I want to make that point a little bit later about, what you can do to get started, but because you're out there, you're cold, you don't know anything about it, and you learn all of the rules and you learn how to score, and and how to play properly. And there's a lot to know.
The rules are a little odd. It
Yes.
sounds like something that someone had invented on an island.
Yeah, in Seattle.
But no, the rules are a little odd,
Yeah,
and there's some odd terminology.
right. And the
there's the
scoring's
kitchen,
a little odd.
and the scoring is weird. I was trying to explain this to somebody yesterday. There's 3 components to the score.
Right.
So say the score is,
Yeah, don't try to explain it, Joe.
well, you say it's like
Honestly, don't try and
10
don't.
to 7,
Please,
10, 7,
no,
2.
forget
All right.
it. Forget about it.
Now you know what Janet sounds like when she's on the pickleball court.
Forget about it.
That
That was in the kitchen.
there is the kitchen.
Yes.
There's some odd
You have to
terminology.
stay out
and
of
it's
the kitchen,
fun.
which it's actually words I like to live by. Stay out of the kitchen.
Stay out of the kitchen.
Yeah. Unless you're watching somebody cook for you. Then you
Sure.
can be in the kitchen.
Okay. I like cooking for people.
I know. I have benefited.
People don't
No.
believe me about that. They think, oh, no, you don't have to cook for me.
No, you enjoy it.
I
It's one
do.
of the things you love to do, right?
It is. It
It's
is.
how you show love.
I do sometimes.
It's your
yes.
love language.
Well,
That's a different episode.
I've said many times I'm fluent in all 5 love
Oh,
languages.
geez. Yeah, you said it on the podcast, too.
I have
And
said it
by
many
reference to past podcast listeners, if you want to go learn about the love languages. But this is about the love of pickleball because there are so many benefits.
times. Yes, there are.
And it's funny because more and more as it's growing, you're hearing about more and more benefits. Like I kind of knew that racket sports and things where you have to move aerobically and think at the same time is really good neurologically. Like I knew that from past, I don't know, research or something. Like dance is one of those things too, where you're
That's-
learning steps and you're moving aerobically. It's supposed to be really good for your brain.
That was kind of the biggest surprise for me in doing research for this, was learning that there's neurological benefits to pickleball. Who knew?
Right, which is really good for, especially for our age group, right? But yeah, all racket sports and ping pong I would add into that mix too,
Okay.
you know, which can get quite aerobic as well.
You're a ping pong player. I'm not.
Yes, ping pong's so much fun.
Yeah, I've seen you play ping pong, and there's no way I'm playing against you.
I like to pretend like I don't know how to play, and then I'm like, what?
And yeah, when the betting starts, that's
Yeah.
the cognitive benefits are a result of having to think quickly.
Right.
And I remember when I first started playing, I didn't know where my feet were. I didn't know how I was going to hit the ball next. There's a lot of things that,
You're overthinking it, yeah.
or I couldn't think quickly enough about
Right.
it because I just wasn't used to it. And then it becomes kind of, I don't know, it's not the right term, but close. It's the muscle memory.
Yeah, exactly, which is true of everything, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that you do repetitively. You know, eventually your body
Well,
remembers.
what do they say about becoming expert at something? You have to do it 10,000 times before you become expert at it.
So I should be like an expert at a lot of things then. Brushing my teeth.
I hope you've
And
brushed your
yet
teeth.
we're still probably doing it correctly.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. So yeah, there's lots of benefits. So cognitive was one of them. But also, and actually this came from one of our pickleball players, you know, people we've been playing with for years, right? Was cardiovascular.
hmm
This came from an article in JAMA.
Journal of the American Medical Association.
Yeah. And it shows that regularly playing racket sports, again, will include pickleball, badminton, tennis, ping
You
pong.
would say ping pong.
Yeah.
I know you would say ping pong.
Significantly lowers the risk of cardiovascular disease. Plus, it reduces the likelihood of other serious health issues such as cancer, type 2 diabetes.
Sure. Yeah.
And because, again, it involves high intensity intervals that combine aerobic and anaerobic activities. So it's all, you know, it's great. It's good for the heart, yes, and other vital muscles, helping to lower blood pressure, tamp down blood sugar, and prompt other beneficial changes that keep you healthy.
I've never seen anyone scroll so fast on their phone before.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't have my glasses
I
on, and I'm
know.
trying to read this, so
You're making the font
I
bigger.
had to enlarge it. I have to get a bigger phone.
So, along those lines,
Yeah.
it helps with balance and stability as well.
Ooh, right?
Right. So this is something we've talked about with yoga and
Well, and
with
also
Megan
when we
getting it off the
had
floor,
Keith on just recently,
Keith with physical therapy.
he was like, that's the number one thing you want to work on,
Hmm.
right? Is like balance, which also comes from your core. So that core work is good.
Sure.
So there's a lot of good health benefits. And of course, this whole sense of
I was
community.
just going to say that was the biggest surprise for me when I started playing was how you become friends with the people that you're playing
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really, I mean, we now see each other socially.
Hmm.
You and I started this podcast, which is mind blowing, right?
Hmm.
Like, yeah, you just never know when you make connections in general in life, you just never know where it's gonna take you.
The social aspects are kind of like golf, where there's a lot of time in between games or in between shots,
Yeah.
and you're
It's
chatting with people.
chit-chatting. Yeah.
You know, and in golf, you go to the clubhouse afterwards, and you become friends with the people that you play golf with.
Right. And your fun level is directly correlated to the people you're playing with.
Well, that's true. But
Which is true of pickleball too, because I've gotten to pickup games, where with people I don't know. And you could be next to somebody who's taking it super seriously, and they're just like, you're like, oh my God, what if I make a mistake? All of a sudden you're on edge versus people who are just like laughing and out there to have a good time.
I've only really had one or two experiences where it's just like, I'm not really enjoying playing with this person.
Yeah.
Most everybody is that I've
Oh,
come across is
absolutely. It's a
very
very
accommodating.
friendly
Yeah,
sport, very
very
welcoming.
exactly.
Right. But having said that, how welcoming people can be, I think if you're going to get started with pickleball, which, it's really highly recommended, right? Based on all those benefits
Hmm.
and stuff. And it's just fun. It gets you out there. Now, we play outside all year long.
In the
So they're
Northeast.
in the Northeast, which is also a huge benefit, getting outside into the sunshine, into the air, moving around. So that's good. But I would say if you've never played before and you don't know anything about the game, don't try and like hop on with a group of people who have been playing together for a while. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard.
Well, it's because those rules that we talked about,
Yeah.
they're a little weird, where you can step and when you can step and where how you can hit the ball and
Right.
how you can't hit the ball are not allowed.
Right.
Uh,
I remember the first time I got asked to play.
Yeah, you kind of teased me about this, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I didn't
I
know, I
had
don't know this
actually
story.
just moved here, so it was probably about 3 years ago. One of my neighbors came to the door. She's like, "Oh, we're playing pickleball. I have a group of friends, and I hear you're sporty type of thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, yeah." And I've
That's the talk of the neighborhood, how
never played.
sporty
Yeah.
you are.
That new
That
neighbor, she's so
she's very
sporty.
sporty.
And so she's like, do you want to play? And she's like, I'm not gonna be playing. I don't play with beginners. And I was like, oh, ow, okay.
So how did
And
I would
at
have
the
said
time, I felt like, wow, right?
she doesn't
But
sound very
now I
sporty.
kind of get it, because it's like she's really good. So she doesn't
Hmm.
want to have to, some people are patient and they want to teach you, and that's great. But other times, people just are out there, they have like an hour they want to play,
I
and,
get
and,
it.
and it can really drag the whole scene down, if you got this new player and you're like, everybody's trying to be so nice. And so it's fine, but, just know what you're getting into. And I went out and I knew nothing, and they were fairly patient with me, but I walked off, "Oh, that was, like, really not fun for me," and I'm sure it wasn't that fun for them because I really wasn't getting it right away, like the serve, which has another set of rules, and
Hmm.
the scoring, and I was just, like, out there trying to survive. And then that's when I signed up for the beginners class to learn the sport.
I know why you felt uncomfortable though. You're much more used to feeling sporty and part of the in crowd. And
Yes.
yeah.
The sporty crowd.
Hmm.
And I guess I'm a little bit competitive. I don't know, maybe
Maybe just a little.
just a little. But I said to myself, I'm gonna learn how to play this sport.
Hmm.
The other thing about it, I think, too, is once you learn, you can really progress pretty quickly.
So unlike something like golf,
Oh, forget about
where it
it.
takes
So
years to
that's that 10,000 hour thing. I mean, I could spend 50,000 hours in that sport and
Mhm.
not make any progress.
The ramp at the beginning from becoming a complete novice, having no experience, to becoming an adequate player.
Mhm.
That ramp is not very steep.
No.
The steepness comes more from advanced to super advanced.
Right, yeah, and also as the people that you're playing with, right? So I think it's best to try to find people that are at the same play level as
Hmm.
you. If you're playing up, you have to play a little harder, that's good. And even when you're playing down a little bit, sometimes you can work on some other skills like,
Sure.
yeah. It's good, I think, to have that sort of common you're learning together type of
I
thing.
was
And
going to say that's one of the good things about the group that we played with
yeah, for
is
sure.
everyone started at the same time.
Right. Right.
We were all in that same clinic. That's how we all met.
Yeah, and we all had a desire to continue to play.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And we didn't know where we were. I mean, we've played in some pretty weird, like in school playgrounds and
Yeah.
uh,
Bring your own tape.
taping off
We
the
have our
clip.
own nets,
Yep.
so that, I played in the street before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't played in the street.
Yeah. Well,
I live on a busier
I'm kind
street.
of a tough kid, I'm a street kid,
The
you know what I'm
streets of
saying?
Jersey.
I come from the streets like J-Lo.
Uh-huh. Janet from the block.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? I'm like from farmland.
Jersey farmland is
There's like
different.
the toughest part about navigating my streets was moving around the cows. I'm
No.
kidding. Well, they were up the street though.
Were they?
We had a dairy farm up the street.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were lots of cows.
Always learning something
Now
about you,
it's
Janet.
now it's a sea of
Do you know
houses.
how to milk a cow?
No, I don't. I do not know how to milk a cow. I have never milked a cow. I doubt I ever will milk a cow unless for some reason it's out of necessity. I don't drink milk. There's just so many reasons for me not to milk a cow. How about you, Joe? You've ever milked a cow?
I think I have.
Oh,
We did get some comments about your barnyard animal imitations.
well, there you go. I hope they were good comments.
Remains.
Because
I'll let you know.
we just got another one
Yeah.
there. So if you are going to go out on a court with people, learn the rules and the scoring and at least, right? Like try to bone up on that a little bit, especially if you're sporty and you think you're going to take to it quickly. Or better yet, find a class, learn that way, and then
Sure.
you'll be ready to play
Lots of times you can do that
open
at a
play.
senior center or at a tennis club or
Yeah.
at a recreation center
Yes.
in your
Yes.
town.
Or find people who, because I know, like, if somebody came to me, and was like, "Oh, can you teach me?" I would be happy to teach somebody how to play.
Yeah, find that sporty new neighbor.
Yeah. The other thing I would say is we know that, and speaking to Keith, we know that there's a lot of injuries.
Keith, the physical therapist from a couple
Yeah,
of episodes ago.
and especially in our age group, there's been some injuries from pickleball. And the joke is that,
Every time someone takes up pickleball, an orthopedic surgeon buys a boat.
and I was thinking that it was orthopedic surgeons that actually invented the game. Maybe they were. They were on vacation in 1965.
I was in physical therapy for something unrelated to pickleball in the past months, and the physical therapist said that she has a business idea. She wanted to open a physical therapy clinic next to the pickleball courts.
Wow.
Yep.
Smart.
I mean, Keith said he sees a lot of pickleball
Yeah, I
injuries.
know. That's like getting right to your target audience right
Now,
there.
what? So Keith kind of alluded to this. It's because people go out, and if you are older, you're going out
And
and
you,
you're not in shape, you haven't stretched, you have the wrong kind of shoes,
yeah,
and
shoes are key.
shoes are very important. A lot of
Yeah,
people show up
wear
with running
tennis
shoes.
shoes.
Running shoes are the worst to
Yeah,
have.
yeah, because they're designed for forward momentum,
Exactly.
and you're moving sideways and well, backwards really is not a good way to move. But that tennis shoes, or now of course they have pickleball shoes.
Pickleball shoes,
Yeah.
tennis shoes, basketball shoes work fine too.
Hmm.
I wouldn't go high tops,
No.
but anything
Court shoes.
for a
Yeah.
court
Yeah.
works well because
Yeah.
it's designed to go in all four
Especially
directions.
pavement. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Because often these courts are actually on the tennis courts.
They're dual purpose courts.
Yeah, yeah. So shoes are definitely important.
Okay.
Yeah.
And other equipment. What else do you need? You need
Paddle,
a paddle,
the net,
the net,
which are sometimes there.
and ball.
Yeah,
That's
that's it.
pretty much it.
Yeah. So it's low barriers to entry there.
You can buy a paddle for 20 or $30.
Yeah.
You can buy them for $300 too.
Oh yeah.
But you're getting started. Just get
Just go
an
for it.
inexpensive paddle.
I also know some people who were like, "Oh, I don't want to play with you guys. I'm no good. I don't know the sport, blah blah blah." Well, again, find that friend who's willing to take the time to teach you or
Mm-hmm.
find that class
Mm-hmm.
that are usually free
Oh yeah,
at the senior
or
center.
very low cost.
Yeah, very low cost and get started.
When we started playing, it was like a if you want, put $5 in the pail to and
Yes.
that funded like new paddles for
Right.
people that were
Yeah,
just
and
starting
that
out.
was led by a woman who had a group that she was playing with, and
Mm-hmm.
they decided that they were going to teach other people, which was really very nice of them.
Okay, what else you got?
I have not. I thought I had a lot this time, Joe. You've been giving me a hard time in the past, but I actually did do some research this time, and
Okay.
so what do you got?
You mentioned how we play outside
Yeah,
all year long,
yeah,
and we've shoveled off the court
yes,
prior to playing.
right.
Shovels the snow off the court.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if the court's wet, you can't play.
If it's wet,
We've blown leaves off the court.
yep. People have gone by and they're like, "You guys are crazy playing pickleball
Yeah, it's like
in the
30
winter."
degrees.
And we're out there with gloves and multiple layers of clothing on. And what I say to people is, "Well, do you say the same thing to joggers?" Which
Right. Or skiers,
I mean,
or people who make snowmen,
anybody playing outside,
snowball fighters.
it's it's just another thing to do outside. Get you outside.
Right. Exactly.
I don't think it's weird at all that we play
No,
in
and what's that
winter.
sport? There's a racket sport that you play year round and like the little cagey thing. What's that called?
Paddleball
Is it paddleball?
might be.
Yeah, maybe.
I've never played.
I have. It's like on a wooden
Is it
platform
platform
and
tennis?
it's got like chicken wire type of thing.
Yeah, I know Western Massachusetts has
Yeah.
is bigger.
Yeah, there was a lot in Connecticut. You'd see them out there.
What are you doing?
I'm I'm showing I'm showing you what the court looks like.
She's doing an interpretive dance on chicken wire.
Yes. Oh, this is my morning exercise.
So we've got the outdoor play.
Hmm.
You can play indoors, which is we
Oh,
found quite different.
how about the recent courts they opened up at the brewery?
Oh, there's a brewery nearby.
Yeah, so you go get a beer and you go out and play pickleball on the courts.
I think it's great.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
But make sure that you stretch.
Yeah, and you didn't have too many.
Not too many beers. That's true. And
But that just supports the idea that it's a very social sport,
sure,
and it's again a big reason to learn how to play and get out there and have fun.
if you can't find somebody to teach you to play, there's
Mm.
a million YouTube
YouTube.
videos. Just
I mean, you
Google.
eventually have to do it, right? You have to,
Right.
but at least you can learn the basics of it.
So if someone's shouting, 10-8-2 as the score, you understand what that means
Exactly.
because most sports don't have
Where
three
the kitchen
components.
is, for instance.
Where the kitchen is, and that's just like the slang term for something called the non-volley zone.
Exactly.
And the kitchen line, and you can't step on
Yeah, all this good
all that
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, we're not going to go through all the rules right now.
What are your three big takeaways about pickleball? Like if someone said,
It's
okay,
super fun.
it's super fun, especially if you're sporty.
It's very social.
It's very social, and it gets you moving.
Yes, and it's good for you.
It is good for you. Just be
Yeah.
careful.
Yes, Joe. Be careful out
That's
there.
all. Just be careful
Oh,
out there.
be careful out there. What was that line? What show
Hill
was that?
Street Blues.
Yes.
Hill Street Blues. They would have the meeting in the morning
Yeah.
with the sergeant or the lieutenant and all the patrolmen, and you'd be like, "All right, be careful out there." Was this a hot topic?
No,
What do we?
it's just a thing. Maybe it could be part of our inspiration series.
All right, so get inspired, get out there and play some pickleball. Find where pickleball is happening near you. We're coming into the winter months, so it might be more
Coming to a
indoors.
town near
Coming
you.
to a town near you. Look for that sporty neighbor and start a pickleball group if there isn't one near you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
There's probably like meetups and stuff too now.
Sure. All
Yeah.
right. I think we've covered everything about pickleball, unless you want to get into the intricate rules of.
No, we're not doing.
So
Why do you keep on wanting to talk about the rules?
I'm a rule follower.
Stop.
I'm a
There's
rule
two
guy.
different types of serves.
I'm a rule
They
guy.
each have different rules attached to them.
All right. That'll be a whole other episode that we probably
No, we're
won't
not
do.
going to do that
Okay.
episode. I'm sorry. We're just not.
All right.
Sorry, Joe. But you could do an Excel spreadsheet if you want
I don't think this is
on rules of
lends its-
pickleball.
No, I don't think that's an Excel spreadsheet kind of thing.
Okay. All right. Well, sorry to
Okay.
disappoint you. Label maker?
Oh, I could make some labels for pickle. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me going. I think that's about it.
I think it is.
Okay. Until next week. This has been the 60 Plus podcast,
I'm Janet.
and I'm Joe.
Bye.